Thanks. 5 pedestrians have been hit and killed by drivers in Chicopee just since October. Now city leaders are discussing plans to make the roads safer. Western Mass News reporter Maria Wilson joins us in studio with the latest from tonight's meeting. Maria.
Chris, at tonight's public safety meeting, the Department of Public Works Superintendent Elizabeth Batista told city councilors that they're working to install signs, flashers, and medians in some of those high traffic areas. This as concerned Chicopee residents expressed their anger, frustration, and desperation for more to be done to protect pedestrians throughout the city.
There's flashers put out in front of City Hall, but you still haven't done anything down on the streets where people are actually being killed. So I don't like to complain, but I'm just wondering when something's actually going to be done.
We have to commit as a city to having safe streets, which means that we need long-term planning.
Since October, nearly half a dozen pedestrians were hit and killed by cars. 3 of those deadly crashes happened on Chicopee Street. The city's Department of Public Works Superintendent Elizabeth Batista says safety projects are in the works, but they will take time to implement, including purchasing 13 sets of flashers. These projects will pick up later in the spring when weather conditions improve, according to Batista. She also says that many of the crashes are caused by driver behavior, and these projects might not completely eliminate all fatal crashes. Reporting in studio, Maria Wilson, Western Mass News.
Maria, thank you.